I figured I'd show you this. I've been using this box of mud. This is my all-purpose joint compound, and I bought it in a cardboard box. It's a little bit easier to transport around. It's not as heavy as one of those 5-gallon container tubs, you know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to throw this away when you get done with it. I've got a couple tricks for you. When you first put it down, you just want to roll it over the sides like that and pull it down tight. Okay? And there's hardly any flakes in here. If you've been watching some of my other videos, sometimes I show you what to do to get those flakes out of there, or that I've always told you that this plastic, when all this outside bits of sheetrock mud dry, and you roll and you push this plastic back in there, you get all these dry flakes back in here. Then next time you pull it out, all the dry flakes go in here, and you got to kind of scrape it out from here. Okay? But I got a different approach to that. You got to stick around and watch the rest of the video, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But for the time being, I'm just going to scoop in here, and I use my 3-inch knife. A little bit easier to dig in there rather than my 6-inch. And I don't have to fill my pan up very far. I can have just that much in there. Let's see if you're seeing that. There you go. And I'm going to use this mud right here for my skip troweling. Okay? And it's too thick right now for it. See how much easier it is to use a 3-inch knife in here. I could use a 6, but it's harder to do my squiggly lines in there. Got a little bottle of water. I can just pour a little bit in. Make sure you put the cap on each time. And the reason why I know that, I don't think I have to explain that one to you, do I? I've dropped it a couple times before, and then it gets all over the place. I'm going to mix this up almost like cake batter, and maybe just a hair runnier than that. Because I'm going to, when I put it on the ceiling or walls, depending where your patch is and if it's a skip trowel or not. A skip trowel means it's been put on by hand, not with a machine. I want it kind of runny because when I put it on with my putty knife, with my sheetrock broad knife here, I put on a little bit like that, and then as I pull it on, it kind of takes a light touch and you kind of skip it on the wall. It goes, and that's why they call it skip trowel. See? Okay, so I want to get all this mixed up. And it could be a little trial and error when you first get going on it as to how much water you put on, what thickness you're going to put it on. You've got to kind of match your existing conditions. You're kind of like an artist. Whatever it takes for you to do it, that's what you've got to do. Okay? You know what? I think I'm still going to put a little bit more water in there. Keep mixing it away. Going to be a little soupy, but not so runny that it's going to be hard to put on and stay on, you know? Kind of like a runny cake batter, you know? If it's hard to do, get the whole thing, you can flip that around and then work from the other side too. And that's why you've got to always have a clean sheetrock pan. You don't want to get any crusties in there. Some dry bits from the last go around. Okay, that's good. Let's put that up on the ceiling, see what we got. Now hopefully you're going to see this. The idea is that you see kind of how I do it. If I zoom it in too far, it's going to start getting all blurry and start wigging out. An important thing to remember on this, you just want to start at one little patch. You're going to just think about this as this is the only patch you're going to mess with for right now, okay? One patch at a time, you can do it. And I'm just going to grab a little bit on my knife and I'm going to hold it up there like that, and then I'm going to kind of pull it across and skip it on there. Now see, that one didn't skip very well, did it? And since it was my first go, that's okay. I can wipe it off and I can try it again. And I'm just going to pull off a little bit more and I'm going to try it again. See? It's just kind of like how you hold your mouth. Now, I probably should have started over here first and then worked my way this way, but you know, however you hold your knife might be better than in other, you know, backhanding it, and I can kind of hit it and kind of tap it and go a little bit. You know, whatever you feel you've got to do to kind of get it up there. And I'm looking at the existing, and you don't want to put it all in on the same direction because you don't want it, you're trying to blend it in, you know what I mean? Okay, now I can take my knife, I'm going to hold it like this, I'm just going to kind of flatten it down a little bit more, like that. That doesn't look too bad. Now if you think you need to add a little bit more, you can. You don't have to, you know, a professional, he's going to use like a 12-inch knife up there. My next pass, I may try a 6-inch. I've got a 6-inch here, and see, I could try it that way, but once you start messing up, if you do, you're going to have a line going all the way across it. I'm just grabbing a little bit on the tip as I go, and I can just tap it where I think it's needed and pull it across there. And I'm kind of liking that. Okay. That's all I'm going to do on that patch. I'm ready for the next one. Okay, let me zoom in and see if it's going to go wiggy on us or not. Because see, everything's light. See? That's my texture. When it dries, it's going to give me that skippity-doo-dah look. And I started there in the corner. And once you get brave, you can get out here in the middle. I wouldn't suggest doing the middle first. Okay? Alright, I'm going to do that next one now. Let's see what we can do with that one. I'm still going to use my 3-inch knife, grab a little bit, and as I put it on, I'm going to hold it up here, and then I'm going to go like that. Is there any rhyme or reason to this? Are you trying to match something? No, it's a random type. Just pull a little bit on there. And see, I can kind of tap it where I think it's needed. You just don't want to be heavy-handed. Okay? Light touch. Light touch. You think you got too much on there, you can scrape a little bit off and tap it again. Okay, I want just a little bit there, and I can tap it. And I saw where the outside edge is. Now I can wipe off my excess, and I got a clean blade. Make sure you don't get your fingers up in there. If you hold it like that, you got to hold your fingers down a little bit so they don't get up in the ceiling. And you want this kind of flat. That's why you have to kind of hold this like this, you know, just very delicate. You don't want to go up at an angle and try to wipe it down, because then you're going to wipe too much of it off. now that we got the skip trowel on there, we're just going to gently flatten it. You press too hard and you're gonna make everything too big up there. Okay, that's my next patch. Hey, that one looks nice. You're an artist. That's what you are. Now, if you're not liking how it's going on, maybe your mud is too thick. Maybe you need to put a little bit more water in it. I'm getting bold now. I'm still looking, and I want to pay attention to what I'm doing. And I can go around the outside of the patch too. And so I'm kind of blending it into the surrounding area. Wipe it flat. Got my light on it. I take a look at it. I can grab a little bit more and see, I could just tap it a couple places and get it kind of raised up a little bit if I want, and then I can kind of knock that down. There. Oh yeah. That's a nice one.